I did a podcast episode for a podcast I haven't even released yet with Mark Sargent, who's the Flat Earth guy, and that was probably my most awkward podcast discussion I had.
Did you get to say Flat Earthers are all around the globe?
No, I did not. But yeah, he was a bit interesting. He went on like a 15-minute rant about Sandy Hook, and I just tuned out. So.
Okay, I mean...
when is this podcast supposed to release?
Well, I recorded it a year ago. Actually, that's why I noticed. I have not opened Skype since last year when I recorded it with him, and I'm not sure when I'll ever release it, but...
Okay,
Eat it.
2020 is just starting. AWKWARDCast goes in its 4th season. Can we beat an interview with a flat earther? Let's find out. And hello and welcome to the 4th season of the AWKWARDCast. And Keyframe one about random drivel. And we are...
Why am I still here? Just to suffer? No, why am I still here? Just to suffer? It's
why do we
years.
always come here? I guess we'll never know.
I mean, like, I draw myself happier and happier in every picture
It's
so
true,
people
it's
are
true.
deceived when they come in the beginning of the cast and see me with my head in my hands.
Also, since the majority of people do not know that awkward is actually an acronym for Einmine Keyframe Wonder About Random Drivel, let's point out one time and never repeat it again and see who remembers at the end of the year that actually you doing 2 things for number 4 because the 4th season. There will be a pop quiz at the end of 2020. Also, we have
Choco,
a guest.
How you doing?
Hello and welcome, Choco. Keyframe is already having a great time.
I'm here.
So as the first guest of the AWKWARDCast 2020 and a first timer on this beautiful, totally not brain cell killing show, please, Choco, do tell us, who are you, what do you do, and why should people care?
Well, I guess I'm known for niche things in very small circles, so I have a lot of fans and followers that never overlap.
This sounds like a great business model.
Diagram?
Yeah, so I guess outside fandom stuff, I'm known for I study genetic biology. I write history books. One of my books I've recently written is a history book on military schools in America. I can't find the book, so I'm holding up a poster for the book. In the convention scene, I'm known for vending and panels. I do panels on narrative art and transformative art. I talk about the history of how culture evolves. I also am currently writing a history book on the convention scene itself. I guess most people know me for the pony fandom, where I'm known as Chocolate Pony. In the furry fandom, I'm known as an Animorphs. And I guess elsewhere, I'm known as either SouthParkTaoist or Transformative. So, very little niche things.
Surprisingly, you are not our first sciencey type on this cast. We've had a doctor on the cast before.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask.
Yes, he was a furry doctor, and he wore a lab coat.
Yes.
Nuka from Fur Science.
Okay.
Also known as...
Do you know them?
Somewhat, but my co-host for my podcast, Simo, we joke that whenever, specifically in the pony and furry cons, whenever there's someone in the fandom who's a scientist, they always wear a lab coat to cons.
You mean like Uncle Kage?
Or Fiora. Love them both.
But yeah, so you are aware of the guys from First Science, but you have not been in contact with them yet.
We chatted a bit. I've been conducting my own separate surveys for my own history project. I want to do it independently because I know exactly what areas I could control and look at the data and make sure nothing is biased. And I do worry that, I know there's brony surveys, there's furry surveys, there's anime surveys. I do worry that there's a bit of bias when you have someone who's a part of the fandom conducting surveys in the fandom. But I think we were interested in trying to share data, but nothing's really come of that so far. But I bump into them from time to time at different cons.
Also, I want to point out that AWKWARDCast 2020 has become more classy. I no longer drink out of a water bottle.
I also want to point out, thank you, both of you, to have one of my art pieces in your background.
Yes, actually.
Mine is in the background of a background because it's reflected off one of the opposite wall.
Yeah, yours is a little bit harder to find, it's true.
Mine is a where's. See, here's the thing. If we ever get, like, every artist that's on my wall, which for one thing would be fucking amazing, it would be a Where's Waldo episode where you just have to look and see which pixel is your art. I actually had a thought to make this this whole back thing a fan art wall, but then I just imagined I don't want people to be blinded by just this wall of orange and red because God knows no one will draw my human. So it's just gonna be like.
my old place I just moved out of, I actually had a wall of different chocolate pony art, and I had a wall that was completely filled with all my con badges. And I think at that point I hit over 100 cons, so the wall was completely filled with badges. And I have not I moved here less than a month ago, and I barely finished setting everything up.
What if you left that, like, badge wall? Like, you would never leave the badges because, you know, it's such a important thing.
Yeah.
But if you did leave it there to the new tenants, they come in and they just see all these names and all these badges of just, who was this man? Who was this person named Taoist, Choco, Transformative?
Yeah, all different names.
Odie already asked, like, how is a guy with those credentials not have anything to do on a Sunday afternoon? I mean, he was probably more talking about the earlier credentials with studies and history surveys, but now with those badges, which I also count as credentials.
I mean, yeah, a professional con vendor, but like...
Especially.
That's my full-time
You were
job
actually
now.
at 2 cons in January, weren't you, Chuck?
3 cons. Three cons back to back. In fact, I moved down to Orlando right before Christmas. I left New Year's Day for Phoenix, Arizona, where I went to Vended at Painted Desert for a con. Then I left the U.S. for my very, very first time to Vancouver, where I went to Vancouver Pony Expo, where Keyframe and we hung out. Then I went down to San Jose, where I was at Further Confusion. And I will be a community guest at HarmonyCon in Dallas coming up next weekend. And then later this month as well, be at Furry Fiesta. So a lot of cons back to back.
Why have a house at that point? Like
that's what I was thinking. I was tempted to see if I could just rent out hotels and Airbnb. The only problem is if you look at my stuff, I have way too much stuff that I can't bring from place to place. So I have to have
just buy a mystery machine. Buy a mystery machine. Go and drag Simmel with you. Buy a dog. Get 2 friends who are female, and just solve some mysteries and sell at cons.
See, I would be the talking dog in that case, but no, I had the moving truck. I'm a single person, and the moving truck was completely packed with all my stuff. I was actually worried I was a hoarder, and it was hard for me, but I threw out a lot of old stuff. Like I had a bunch of old wall scrolls, which I'm sure I could sell, but I didn't want to drag around, so I tossed a lot of wall scrolls, prints, years of like notebooks from school that I tossed out. So I was like, oh, I'm living on stuff behind. One homeless
furry must have been very confused looking through the dumpster that day.
Oh, someone could easily start their own vending business by just putting all the stuff I toss in there. No, I tossed at least 50 wall scrolls. I tossed like hundreds of keychains, badges, many prints. I probably could have sold them. I just didn't have the space to. I think it would have been easier just to move without them.
Just imagining a vendor called the trash can. But do you have any highlights from those cons or things been going on recently that you'd like to share with the class? Fun anecdotes, terrifying anecdotes.
Well, I think we had a fun time in Vancouver, the PonyCon there.
It was
my first time ever leaving the U.S. I finally got a passport just so I could go there. I think that was a fun experience. Trying to think. One of my friends, Casey, is a VA, is in the chat right now. I met them recently, and they seem really, really cool. So we've been chatting last few days. And then what else am I working on? I'm actually working on revamping one of my old panels where I am looking at the legacy of Watchmen. So if you guys have seen some of the panels I've done at cons in the past few years, I look at the concept of what transformative art is and how someone can take a pre-existing piece and then inspire either a derivative work or a brand new work. So I looked at all the different works Watchmen have inspired, and I realized last year 2 books came out, comics came out, Doomsday Clock and Peter Cannon Thunderbolt, along with the Watchmen show on HBO, and I realized, there's more derivatives I could add. So I'm updating that panel with more of the different derivatives that came from Watchmen. So it's been somewhat busy, somewhat lazy for me, but a lot of traveling. So I went to Disney as my break.
Oh, more proof that you actually hung out in real life. Sorry that it takes so long to get proof of your coexistence, because you two post far too much on your Twitter.
Oh, trust me, I'll talk about that with my week. But
okay. I go back
if
then.
Choco is done, I actually have to grab something from in the outer world. So you talk about your adventures, Maximilian.
I guess I can talk about my ventures. It has been quite a while. I have been to my family over Christmas, and to sum it up very quickly, so on the Friday after Christmas, I met an old friend of mine and wanted to recap the few days to this point. And I was like basically non-stop talking for 1.5 hours, and I barely got all the stuff happening with the family up to this date in this meeting with my friend, and then there were also 4 more days to follow. So let's just sum it up. I had a great Christmas with my family. It was fun. It was packed. I literally had 1 day that I marked as free for the 1.5 weeks I was over there. So madness, but the good kind of madness. So that was fun. And I believe something else happened in January. Trying to remember. Can you give me a tip? What happened in January?
Let's see.
All right, I got a roommate.
Hey.
I went to Colorado to pick this one up and
help me get rid of my stuff.
Yeah, and swing the
and
whip.
Pick out stuff.
Yeah, and swing the whip a little bit to finally get
There's so much stuff to go.
get everything
Where do you guys
back.
live? Where do you guys live?
In Berlin now.
Okay.
So
you,
I
from
moved
Colorado all the way to Berlin?
From Colorado to Berlin. I had to pack everything that I could bring with me into just as few suitcases as possible to avoid shipping expenses.
Yeah, see, I could not have done that with my move.
yeah, I mean it was mostly reducing since she just moved into my flat and I already had like furniture and stuff. It was no furniture needed, so it was really mostly clothes and sewing machine and a few knickknacks.
Many art supplies.
But even those are just a fracture of what you had before.
I whittled it down from like this much to just this much art supplies.
But yeah, besides that, we arrived on the 23rd, so it has now been like 1.5 weeks.
About
I
1.5
would
weeks.
say. So
Yeah.
yes. And that was probably a big part. It also beautifully threw me completely out of balance work-wise, because I had like to take a vacation for going over there.
Yeah.
And originally I was like, hey, that's easy. And even right before I left, I sat down with Bart, my team lead, and I was like going through all the things and was like going through all my tickets I have to do and like, yeah, this is all possible. It will be a tough call, but this is fine, and this part here. So I came back first day, complete catch up. This was kind of expected, but after that it was like Tuesday and Wednesday I still was just playing catch up with myself. I was trying to get back into the headspace of all the open projects I had, and I'm like, on Thursday or something I went to Bart and I was like, Bart, as my team lead, I have to tell you, I'm shitting my pants off for the current release. And he's just replying, yeah, me too.
Sorry the move coincided with this.
Well, there's never a good time, I guess. But yeah, that probably was the big summary of vacations and travels and events. So far, it's like, still figuring out, like, after 6 years of living by myself, it's weird thing to live with people again, even if it is only one people. So,
I am a single people.
but yeah, that has been the events here. And no, I don't think that I have any, except... unless I don't want to go into deep detail about Christmas and stuff, I'm probably done for my
The
past
IKEA
events.
adventures and all
Oh.
that.
Yeah, like with all the crazy stuff, going to IKEA and buying stuff where we
2 hours shopping at IKEA.
the horror.
Finding furniture so I can put my stuff away.
We literally took a lunch break in between. I mean, IKEA has this canteen, so it's not really that surprising, but yeah. Any other highlights that I should bring up? We went to cinema.
Oh, you could talk about how terrible the airplane to Frankfurt was.
To Frankfurt. Oh yeah, there's another Condor. You guys
Condor
recall
strikes again.
my worst airline I had? My worst transatlantic airline travel. So we had Condor again. So,
They got
oh no, the memories
better.
return. They got better. So
Repression.
yeah, pretty much. I didn't end up in a plane from the 90s with only screens in the middle aisle where in very bad quality one movie was playing. No. This time we got what you expect, like a little screen in front of you with all the plugs and whatnot.
USB plug.
And and they also had a nice video library of like 80, 90 movies, except the small catch that all but 4 have been behind a paywall.
That's shitty. You're already paying hundreds of bucks for a plane.
And I know, and those 4 movies, one of them was Disney's live-action Aladdin, which I had watched on my flight there, so I was like, it was okay, but I don't need to watch it twice within 2 weeks. One of them was Rocketman, which was actually interesting. We watched that.
That's an okay movie.
What was the 4th one? I know what we
Was
watched.
it the 2019 Lion King?
Oh yeah, Talking. No, the Lion King, thankfully not. Talking, which I was like, I'm not really interested. So we ended up watching as a second movie, The Secret Life of Pets 2.
Oh,
Had to kill the last couple hours of the flight
toast?
somehow.
Yeah, I watched Aladdin, the live action one, on the flight recently. A lot of questions.
I have travel stories in my week, mostly week quotation
One more thing about
marks.
the flight. One more thing about the flight,
my
though.
most interesting stories are from traveling.
Yeah. One more
One more
before we
thing,
pass
just
on.
how shitty the selection was for the media and stuff. Was not only did they charge you, it was about $10 per movie if you wanted to get
per
extra
movie.
And not only that, but they also, shortly into the flight,
Oh yeah.
paused everyone's movies that they're watching to advertise, hey, you can spend more, you can buy a voucher, a code to watch one of these movies. We're going to have the
Big.
flight attendants walk up and down the aisles with these vouchers so you can buy it in person if you
I'm
want.
so embarrassed that it was a German.
And they paused
airline.
everyone's movies so they could hear this commercial that they're doing live. And then when they finished, they let us resume our movies that we were watching.
That's dumb.
Yeah, Condor Airlines. It will probably
But
only
you
affect.
already knew Condor was bad before.
Yeah, but I thought it was the exception that I just hit the shitty flight because in the little prospects they had
No.
like.
No.
Yes, Condor is really bad. So it probably only affects people traveling to or from Germany. But if you can avoid it, especially for longer trips, don't go Condor.
Better choice.
Yes.
So is that it?
That-
Is it my
that
turn?
it.
Alright.
Yay! Okay.
But
well,
yeah.
first, let me plug and replug my headphones because you guys were cutting in and out most
Oh.
of that conversation.
Okay.
I am doing my best to not get us banned. Okay, Okay, everything's cool now.
Okie dokie.
Anyways, I have stories. Sit down.
Oh my, I'm already
Chrissy's life
sitting.
was very interesting the past month and a half. Hi guys. You miss Chrissy stories? Remember to set the placemat for this so people know whether to click off or not. You remember how I said that my stand-up special would eventually be called Depressingly Funny?
Ooh.
But I'm going to show a positive thing first, in that my aunt's Christmas present for me finally arrived like a few days ago. My aunt that lives in New York, the good ones. And I think she is the only family member I know that follows my Twitter. I don't know how, I would have assumed she muted me at this point, given the trash that I post. But she must have saw that I retweeted this from the Funko Twitter. Look at my son! Look at my son! It's a limited edition, too, celebrating the 50th anniversary. So it was like the last official 50th anniversary item they put out because, well, that was 2019. People probably say, but isn't this feature film coming out this year? Yeah. But I think the best thing was I showed this to my friends, and the first thing that came out of their mouths were not, "Oh, that's cute," or "Oh, you freak. Don't you already have one?" And I said, "No, I have the normal one."
And now you have two Scrappy figurines.
There's Scooby, not. Don't you dare. But like, I mean.
What?
I should have had two Shaggies, but you know.
But I mean,
two Scoobies are good too.
what is a Scrappy-Doo than a chibi version of a Scooby-Doo? And what is a Funko Pop?
Funko Pop. You said it like the second time.
Funko Pop thing, except for a chibi version of something.
See, the thing is...
Oh no, she has a Scrappy-Doo.
I told people that they're wrong for making fun of me for having two of these. The real evil to fight is the fact I have three because I also have a keychain. It came with the box set of the first series. Am I not going to use it on my keyring? I mean, I already have my own merch and an Alistair pin. There's plenty of trash. Literally, the only thing on this keyring is the key to my house, keychains, and my Planet Fitness card. I've never found a better description of me in one object. Internet, art, trash, fitness.
I have my own keychain on mine.
And I guess the key to my house just shut in. But no. The other things, so I have a lot of stories. I'm going to be the long week this time.
Oh boy.
So I traveled to Indiana for Christmas. I'm not going to go into Christmas stories because honestly, it wasn't eventful. But I actually do have some really nice stories about Indiana, which is surprising. So I have to talk about it because I'm not going back. The thing was, so I had to fly Spirit Airlines to and back. Any American that knows what Spirit Airlines is knows that it's the Motel 6 of air travel, in that it's awful, the seats are made of plastic, and you're probably sure you're going to get bed bugs. But there's magical experiences in the worst of places. One being, I had to go to the Bob Hope Airport, which is... I don't think it was built to be an airport originally. If anyone has ever been to the Bob Hope Airport or have seen pictures of it, it looks and smells like a repurposed hospital.
Ooh.
Like, no, that's just the thing. It looks, when we were driving up to the place, I didn't think it was the airport. I thought they were apartments. Like, and when I went in, like, it's only like 1 story tall, which I cannot believe a 1-story anything exists in California. And while I was waiting for my flight to board, I think I texted Max these pictures. I'm not going to look them up because it's from December. But, like, there was what I assumed to be the WWE version of Santa going on this plane. This guy was decked out in, like, a red Michael Jackson leather jacket, red leather pants, had a red bag, was wearing a Santa hat, black shades. He looked like he was going to hit someone with a chair. And in one, he had his suitcase, he had a red leather bag, and he had not Tesco, he had a Whole Foods bag in the other. And I'm just like, there is a story here with you. And I'm too scared to ask, but I will covertly take pictures of you. Not to post anywhere, just to remind myself this was real. Little do I know, I probably sent this picture to someone and they're like, why did you send me a picture of just an empty airport line? But no, Indiana was pretty much uneventful. I mostly spent the time dog sitting my aunt's dogs. One was like a giant old chocolate lab, which technically is my cousin's dog. And the other is a small 2-year-old brown dachshund. So it looks like Big Brother and Little Brother. And I need a dog. That was that lesson. Because dogs just sense that I am a dog mom. And these dogs would not leave me the hell alone. Like, I will just have my hands down, like, on the chair, and my hand would be, like, you know, off the chair, just into the ether. And the dogs would, like, walk under it so they can, like, get pets. And then, like, jump up and like, try to, like, hit me in the face with their face. And it's like, what do you want? How much? I can't give you more attention without nothing else in the world existing. And I'd be willing to do that for a dog. But, but I think, like, the best story from there was I spent a lot of time not in the houses because my mom owns a cat. I'm allergic to cats.
Well,
the only cat I was never allergic to was the cat that I named after the German guy in this call. And
which one?
But Max, the black cat.
No, which German guy in this call?
You're the only German guy in the call.
Oh, okay, this makes sense.
Anyways, and the sad thing is, cats also sense that I like them, because I do like cats. So this cat was very snuggly. Too snuggly.
I sounded like this snuggly.
So I was out of the house a lot, and, you know, it was like Christmas Eve morning and stuff, so a lot of people who were unlucky to go to work, and there was also, like, cafes open for brunch and stuff. So I just kind of sat there for a while. I ordered just steak, because I don't like breakfast food.
That's how I found your center.
What?
I found your weird center guy.
Yeah! You gotta admit! Come on, tell me that doesn't look like WWE Santa. But no.
Also, I have a picture of you making out with a dog.
You mean, the one where the dog was, like, attacking my face with kisses?
Ah, damn it. Try it again.
But no, I was just drawing the waitresses at the restaurants, and, like, I would give them the picture. Yeah, that's Duke. He's a 5-year-old chocolate lab and a really good boy. Except when you try to play fetch. This dog does not know how to play fetch. He will walk near you and then run away. But that is such a good image. But put that image away. I can't focus looking at that. No, and I would give the waitresses the pictures because it's like, you know, you're working on a day where you should be home. Here's a little something. And I had like 4 people say that it made their day, and that made me feel good.
Aw.
I mean, but the coolest guy, I met a lot of cool people in Indiana. It's just like those small passing moments. And one of them was a homeless man named Mark. And he was out, and I don't offer money to homeless people. I give them food because I personally think that's a better thing to give. And I was like, hey, I know this place that's having brunch. Do you want to like sit down and have a meal? And he was like, oh, no, that would be too much. That would be too much. And I was like, no, come on. So, but he was like, okay, we'll order out so we don't have to sit in the restaurant and stuff. And he just told me like his whole story, that he was originally from Virginia and he was in like the military, and then he was doing carpentry for a while, and then he started doing temp jobs, and how he used to want to work in TV. And it was just really interesting. And then he was like, what's your story? And I told him my whole life spiel, and he's just like, really, all that happened to you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you don't look like it.
Okay.
Like, huh? And he's like, no, you're much more well put together than you probably should be, in the sense of, I wouldn't expect someone who's gone through the stuff you're gone through to be nice. I was like, huh. So it was really cool. And then like, it was just super chill. And I don't know, I was thinking about it because I remember like a lot of friends that I have are like afraid of homeless people. And I'm just like, they're still, when you say homeless people, the word people is still in that sentence. I think you're just terrified of people. But besides that, move forward to January. My poor Twitter has showed that my legacy is never going to be my art. My legacy is going to be memes. Because I've had not just one, but two posts that have gotten viral, and they are just my hand pointing at something at my screen. And one was a really fucking stupid one. That was I
mean, it wasn't even something you found. It was just a stupid joke.
It was a stupid joke, which I think it came from, I was driving home from coming from Indiana, and I was like half asleep in the car with Brett, and there's like a bunch of sandwich places in our town, and I was just like, do you notice that every sandwich chain starts with a J? And Brett is like, what? And I was like, oh, you know, there's Jimmy John's and Jersey Mike's and just Subway. And Brett's had a moment of like, what did you just say? I said, just Subway? And I was like, and then fast forward to like 2 a.m., like a few days later, I decided to just fucking do it on a MS Paint and my camera. That fucking thing blew up. And I was like, okay, well, that's my taste of virality. Oh, and okay, then after that was Vape Con, which is Vancouver Pony Expo. Yep. So let me quickly talk about that before we get into the other meme that only happened a few days ago.
Oh wait, okay then.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think everyone in this call and chat has seen just Subway in some form, but no, just Subway lives in us all. But at Vancouver, which was a lot of fun. The flight there was good.
Ooh, Vancouver, this is my other prepared picture. God damn it.
Yeah, I went to the Vancouver Pony Expo. One of the great things was I was at border control, and they were like, so why are you here? And I was like, saying, oh, I'm vending at a con for the next few days at the expo hall. And he's like, isn't that a hemp convention?
Oh, vapor.
No. The thing is, it's called Vancouver Pony Expo. The thing is, a marijuana convention was also taking place that same weekend. And, like, what?
I was shocked how easy I got across the border.
There was a huge amount of people that were in the border control for, like, hours getting interrogated because they were going to this con. Like, one person that we talked to, I think, when we were at the hotel just after setting up was they got interrogated and they had to check their phone and they saw all the clop on their phone.
Oh,
that border control agent had a good day that day. And our poor friend Stephen got denied at the border. He
got denied previously too, like another Canadian con. So
yeah, it was insane. But I mean, overall, it's not the con's fault. But the con was great. Like, Vancouver is actually a really nice convention, and it's really chill and has a lot of good food.
I was confused with the paper with the money though. I was like, oh, this is like Monopoly money. It's like,
oh yeah, the money doesn't feel real, and it has and it feels like it's made out of plastic. It's play money.
Huh?
But also, when you count it, it's like you think you made more than what you actually made because you have to convert it back to US.
So it's yet again different than European money, which also often gets compared to.
Your money is stronger than our money. Their money is somehow weaker than our money.
Huh.
Yeah, like I think like the Canadian dollar is like 79 American cents. That was fun.
I still haven't even converted my money yet, so I don't know.
Choco, do you want to explain to Casey what CLOP is? She asked, or they
Oh,
asked in the chat.
Okay.
Awkward.
No. Well, actually, I'm a fandom historian and convention historian, so I guess it's something would fit without me having to expose myself to it. Clop is simply just a term for not safe for work. My Little Pony art, or any
It's
pony
pony
art
porn,
specific-
man.
Yeah, it's I guess the term comes from the sound hooves make when.
Which, just saying that when you think about it, that's a painful sound because that would be like a toenail against your flesh. So I'm just gonna let that sink in for a second. But no, yeah, a lot of cool fun, a lot of food. Someone stole my passport and my wallet, which was great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had to go to.
We went on an adventure.
Yeah, we had to go to the consulate.
Yeah, the consulate. Which
Casey's dying in the
It was
chat.
like some Russian like prison camp. It seemed like we thought it would be like a big embassy. It was like a Russian prison camp we had to go through.
Yeah, we had to like stand outside in the snow, and they took our phones. They took my USB
No.
drive.
First they said okay, what's on your phone? It's like, okay, put it back in your pocket. Then we went upstairs and they said, oh, you weren't supposed to bring your phone in here. Then we went back down and gave our phones to the people who gave us their phones back.
Yeah, and then but you know, I got the emergency passport. I was freaking out. I was like, am I gonna have to like go down to Seattle with you guys and like and buy an extra flight and stuff? But I made it. Like 20 minutes before my flight took off, I was at the gate, and I never felt so relieved. And I had like this epiphany. My luck is lucky in that bad things will happen, but somehow at the end there will be a deus ex machina and everything gets better. It's like the hero's journey. My life is a literal like sitcom where there's some kind of dun dun dun, and then when the commercial comes back, something gets resolved. My life is a cartoon. I don't know who wrote it, but they're not doing a good job. It's going on for way too many seasons. But my hair's getting progressively.
But we had fun, right?
It was still a great con. We went to this like D&D restaurant where we got to roll for our burger.
That's the picture. That's the picture that I had there for half an hour.
Choco technically didn't get a burger, more like a sandwich.
It had sourdough bread. So if you guys don't know, this was we even had a crazy adventure with that because we found out your passport was missing when we tried to go to the first one. I gave the first place a 1-star review, and then the group we were with kind of shitted on me for giving them a 1-star review. But I was just defending Keyframe here because like, hey, she should have gone through that. So
I was the only one carded. Of all these adults, I was the only one that was like, oh, we need to see if you're actually an adult. And I'm like, what about me is childish?
So the first D&D place we went to, apparently it's not a restaurant. They sell food, but they could only legally operate as a bar. So everyone there had to be over like the age of 21. We had a group there that was waiting for almost 3 hours before we finally got a table. And after we got seated, that's when they only carded her for some reason. They didn't card anyone else, and that's when you realize your passport and ID card was missing. But strangely, they had a second restaurant that actually was a legal restaurant, so we actually could go and eat there after waiting for another 2 hours. But after that, it was fun because we got to roll and make our own crazy burgers.
Okay.
It was still a lot of fun, and it was insane. And then the last night was just all the vendors and us in like the Babscom room watching like different we got to watch the Duo Cartoonist videos before Duo Cartoonist took their channel down. So night to remember there. But like
we also got to go to my family restaurant for some reason.
Oh yeah, there's a restaurant there with his same name, same family name.
I saw the picture earlier.
So this is a joke. With Simo, Simo kind of knows what my last name in the Chinese character looks like. But every time we hang out, Simo will randomly see a random Chinese character and says, "Oh, it's your family names, your family names, your family name," even though it's not. We were looking when we got to Vancouver for the first time, looking for restaurants to eat. We were looking at different Chinese restaurants, and it was looking, "Oh, it's your family names, your family name." Wait, this one actually is your family name, and we're like, "Oh my god!" So we had to go there. That was actually pretty excited because it was
also a very nice restaurant. It had like a Lazy Susan in the middle, which
we had such good food.
It was such good. I'm just gonna say, I had when I was watching BoJack this week. I had memories of that restaurant. I was like, wait a minute.
It's like dim sum, but for white people.
So it's more approachable. That's all you're gonna hear. But no, but besides that, so
Hi to Simo. Simo's in the chat.
hi Simul, hello Cole. But no, besides that and getting my passport back and everything, and then coming back here, I was like, you know what? Nothing else can go wrong. Then I got the flu, and I was in dead sick for a week, and was dying, and then I legit thought I got the coronavirus because
I found it.
Look how excited I am.
Did I mention before that you guys tweet too much?
oh, but speaking of tweets,
Oh,
so
no.
the last positive thing was the other positive thing I'm going to talk about with my media.
Oh, this one.
But okay, so it was 4 a.m. That's a great start to Eddie Kersey's story, isn't it? It was 4 a.m.
But Granny Mosby said nothing good ever happens after 2 p.m. a.m.
I was born after 2 a.m. So what does that say?
Oh well.
Take your words
Awkward.
wisely, you and Mosby. But no, I was just sitting in a call with like Sean, Chris, the usual Night Owl crew, and I think it was actually Funko put up a thing of this toaster mascot, and I was like, what the hell is this? And it was Pop-Tarts, and I found that character on like a Pop-Tart wiki, and I was like, what the hell? There's a Pop-Tart wiki. So I looked up a flavor, and then I got struck with a page a mile long talking about the Tiananmen Square massacre, and like apparently it's a copy pasta, which all the words that gets you banned in China. And I decided I'm going to record that as a hand POV video for Twitter. It's stupid. It won't get as big as just Subway. What's the stats on it now? Is fucking like, oh god, where is it? Where is it?
Obviously, dear audience, I'm going to link Subway and the Pop-Tarts video down in the
It's
link
just
below.
Subway. It's not Jubway. Stop.
Whatever, you will find the links to both tweets in the description, so you can add to the view count and share it around so it gets a second wave of attention.
No.
Yes.
Don't do that.
I already wrote it on my notes.
No. But okay, yeah. So currently, it has 12.9k views.
Come on, guys, we can crack the 13.
It has 288 retweets and 1.4k likes. I think the thing is, I sent this over to Max when it was like 8,000, and he was just like, I don't think I've ever gotten those amount of views on videos
Or
at
in
all
forever.
recently.
In recently.
Forever, and I'm just like, yeah, same. How do you think I feel? And the thing is, I don't even think it's funnier than just Subway. I think it's not as funny. I think just Subway is an amazing piece of art compared to this. And you know what? At least Subway replied to me. I'm not gonna get Kellogg's to reply to me. It's about the Tiananmen Square massacre. Unless, for all I know, Pop-Tarts are banned in China. But like, I've had so many tweets that I've made this week that aren't about my art or things that I actually have a skill set in just blow up. And I wonder, is that my legacy? Because if it is, at least I know my legacy is making people laugh, or whatever the equivalent of looking at a shit post and retweeting it and liking it is. Because I guess the only thing is, it shows my entertainment skill set. I think it just shows more of my skill set in knowing what the internet likes. But yes. That concludes what you've missed during this season hiatus of Keyframe.
Yeah.
So I guess we could talk about medias.
Le Gasp.
Yeah, let me get mine because it's on YouTube.
Oh my, yeah, right, you haven't shared yours yet.
Yeah,
With me.
oopsies.
But yeah, Choco, while she's getting hers, how do you feel about going first?
All right. So this is the part where we talk about a fictional media piece we've seen lately, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So I think I gave you guys the options, but it depends on how deep.
Oh wait,
which rabbit hole you want to go to.
those were options.
I just finished watching BoJack, so I'm willing to talk about BoJack. But I also could talk about Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comic series, which also ended recently. I could go on about both of them equally. So
it ended.
Depends on if you
recently?
guys want to talk about BoJack so soon after.
No, I don't want to talk about BoJack so soon.
Especially, can you talk about the season finale at all without giving spoilers?
No, you can't.
Exactly. I was thinking about if I just want to give a single word of like, because I watched it today myself. If I just wanted a single word to describe how I feel about the season finale, I'm like, that would already be spoilery. I cannot say a single word about it without being spoilery. So yeah, it's impossible.
It's like, I mean, yeah, because I keep thinking about it. And no matter what I say, even if it's just an emotion, it does say something about the ending.
Exactly. I know.
That's true. I guess I'll say this: it's up there with Moro Oro, which I found out. Keyframe, we both love that show. And I'm trying to convince Simo, who's in the chat right here, to watch it as well. It's both, and it's actually ironic because I use Moro Oro of an example that was of a fictional work that was so innovative, but it became a dead end because it went to the point where it couldn't inspire any new works. But BoJack is a perfect example of something that came directly from Moro Oro, like the emotional, like roller coasters you go through. But yeah.
No, I mean, back in the days, season 1 finale, I believe, was it, and later another one actually dropped me into a week of depression. So BoJack has an impact for sure.
BoJack, Clannad, and Moro Oro. Those are like the 3 shows that will make me cry.
I can't. The thing, I mean, like, cause I don't know how I feel about the last episode, and that's all I'll say. I don't exactly feel like.
Same.
I'm still analyzing in my head if objectively it was a good finale.
Well, I guess I don't want to get spoilers, but I guess there's like it's there's theories on the last episode, so I'll just say that.
Let's just say maybe we'll talk about it another time after it's stewed.
Invite me back on for that then.
You know what? We'll keep that in mind. But why don't you talk about the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
All right. So, if you guys know, I'm a big fan of the comic book writer Alan Moore. Probably even more well known outside the comic book industry. Some of his works he's known for are Watchmen, V for Vendetta, very important works. Ironically, even though I don't agree with a lot of his political philosophies, it's his specific philosophies on the purpose of art and the purpose of artists that really changed how I thought about things. In fact, I was actually studying at Johns Hopkins to either get into medical research or become a doctor. And art was just a hobby for me back then. But hearing Alan Moore's esoteric lectures on the purpose of art and nature of consciousness basically convinced me that I could pursue art as a legitimate career. One of my favorite, I think, works of fiction that have come out in the last decade is his League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comic book series. Now, if you guys just know it from the horrible, horrible movie, just erase it right there. It has nothing to do with the comic book. The comic book is an intricate piece of work, and actually it will tie into a video. It's actually tying into a video essay I'm actually currently working on right now. But there's a bit, I guess the background with Alan Moore, there's a bit of controversy because Alan Moore is known as the grumpy old wizard who believes in magic. He looks like Rasputin, and he does believe in literal magic. The thing is, his definition of magic is what we do as creators. So writers, artists, musicians, we are manipulating mediums that can achieve a change in the consciousness of another person. For him, that's a literal definition of
Look
magic.
at the man.
So painters can create symbols and sigils. Writers, they are spelling. They're casting spells in spelling. They are manipulating words in their poetry or stories or in their painting to have a transformative effect. That's where my Twitter handle comes from, in the human mind. So for Alan Moore, that is the literal definition of magic. It's not this hoodoo. It's not all this mystical stuff. It's what we artists and creators do in contrast to our environment and society. Now he has also come in the news lately because he famously does not like adaptations of his works, and if you've seen the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie, you can understand why. But people are confused. Why does Alan Moore hate adaptations of his work or sequels, like with the new Doomsday Clock comic that just came out, which is supposed to be a sequel to Watchmen, when that's essentially what he does? All his most famous works are either playing off previously established works or other people's fictional characters, like with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's because he sees himself as partaking in something called a literary game, where all throughout histories, writers and artists have been riffing off what came before, adding something new to evolve it to a new point. So you could go back to the shamans. The original magicians were shamans. They would tell stories that were important, had important lessons and morals to impart to the tribe that they will pass down to the next generation. The next generations of shamans will take that, they will add what's important and continue the story down further and further. Alan Moore sees artists and writers as doing that. A good example he cites is one of the modern fathers of Gothic horror and mystery, Edgar Allan Poe. His only novel is the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym. It inspired Jules Verne, who outright wrote a sequel, an unauthorized sequel, using all of Edgar Allan Poe's characters in his story, The Ice Sphinx, or the Antarctic Mystery, as it's sometimes translated. And of course, Jules Verne is now known as the father of modern science fiction. Jules Verne's fan fiction of Edgar Allan Poe's story inspired H.P. Lovecraft, who basically changed the Iron Mountains that were in Jules Verne's fan fiction of his Poe story to become the Mountains of Madness. So Alan Moore is saying, no, we artists and authors have always been essentially writing our own fan fictions and headcanons of previous works that come before. It depends on how you take that work that is where he has the issues with. So he's of the notion, if you've seen any of his works, V for Vendetta, Watchmen, he famously likes deconstructing it. He likes completely changing how the genre or story is told to shift into a new direction. And he thinks that's important. He believes that our society and our culture is interlinked. When we treat art and culture as something that should be seen on the same level as science and technology, then he sees us as being in a golden age or renaissance. But every time we treat art as a mere product, as a mere commodity to either numb the masses or just be out there to make money, he sees this as a downfall. And he cites derivative works as being that. So whenever a company wants to, let's say, reboot Star Trek or Superman or Star Wars, he sees that as photocopying a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. So it degrades over time, and he sees that as the opposite of what art should be. So from my genetics background, he's basically describing the evolution of stories as if you see the evolution of organisms. And if you have a successful mutation, which is what he thinks writers should do, add mutations. If they're successful, they create a new branch, like Mora Oro, which will inspire another branch, like BoJack Horseman. But if not, they just basically inbreed. And he sees because of the state of our modern entertainment system, with Hollywood films, the comic book industry, the publishing houses, the video game industry, he sees this as degrading over and over and over again. So I don't think he has an issue with people adapting his works. He has an issue that they just merely copy the surface because they know it sells. So that leads to why I love specifically League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It started, I think, in the 90s, and it just wrapped up last year. And why I think it's a one I want to bring up is because it's famously his last work. This is his magnum opus, his his signing off card. He's
So
retired.
he's retired.
He's officially retired with his final issue of League and Destroying Gentlemen. And I want to say how cool it is if you guys could go back to read it. So if you guys know, I guess, about the first series, it's supposed to be the Victorian Avengers or Victorian Justice League. You have all these different Victorian literary characters who play off of each other, and like famously with Moore's deconstruction, superhero teams actually would not work in real life. They would not get along with each other, and they'll just be not functional. It's by the second and third issues, third books in his series, that he realized, not only can I take these literary characters, I can have them become analogs and metaphors for the genre they represent, the time period they represent, or the beliefs of the authors. So, for example, in his Black Dossier series, which is the third book in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen series, he has it take place in a post-Big Brother government from Orwell's 1984. George Orwell famously was not liked by an author who was writing a series of British boarding school novels. I think it's called Greyfriars. Mm-hmm. And so he actually represented all the members of the Big Brother government with the author who didn't like Orwell's characters. So it's beautiful, brilliant deconstruction. And I think the pinnacle of the series, and my favorite one, is the third volume, which takes place over 3 time periods. So 1910, 1960, and 2010. And it shows the evolution of the League through these 3 different time periods separated by spans of half centuries. Now, you start off in the Edwardian period, 1910, with this version of the League, and they're battling a magician called Oliver Haddo. If you guys don't know, there is a very, very famous, aside from Rasputin, there's another famous magician from the Edwardian period called Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley is actually the inspiration for, if you look at almost every single Hollywood depiction of Satanism or secret societies with the cloaks and the daggers and the theatrics, the candles, it's all inspired by Aleister Crowley's Thelema cult and belief. In fact, even L. Ron Hubbard got the idea from Scientology after being involved with an American branch of Aleister Crowley's cult.
Did he get inspired to do Scientology horse music through Crowley too?
That's another joke. We were listening to Scientology horse music at the Pony convention.
Oh, it's amazing. We'll show it after. We'll show it in the post show. Just to go forward with League, is this? I'm assuming if this is a story that's been going on since the 90s, just wrapped up now. It's not an easy pickup, I'm guessing.
I would say the first 2 volumes are easy pickup. They are nice, condensed, closed stories. So the first one, you have the League battling James Moriarty. All right.
Like in the movie!
Just like in the movie, but different. Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution, Max.
The second one, you have them battling... the Martians from War of the Worlds.
Obviously.
The next book, which is the third book, but it's not called the third book, Black Dossier, actually has them battling the Big Brother government. So the Big Brother government creates their own version of the League, which actually includes a thinly veiled version of James Bond. Also, it shows how much he hates James Bond because he has James Bond represented in a very misogynistic, rapey, horrible, treasonous way.
So James Bond.
I just wanted to say, this is where's the derivative? Where's the derivative aspect?
But that's what I'm saying. The my favorite one, Volume 3. It's not an easy pickup, and the reason, and that's why I was trying to explain the Aleister Crowley villain, is because this is where he goes more into how these characters represent how the evolution happened, because the previous ones happened in the past. This one, he's taking the story all the way to the present day. So he's trying to show how fiction from the Victorian era has inspired modern fiction, but at the same time, with the photocopy technique that he's talking about, a lot of people misinterpret and just degrade Victorian fiction to what we have now. So the Aleister Crowley character, Aleister Crowley famously inspired a lot of dark wizards and dark lords and dark cultists in fiction. So in the 1910 story, he's represented by Oliver Haddo, which is a magician that was heavily inspired by him. In the 60s stories, he's represented by the priest from Rosemary's Baby, who was inspired also by Aleister Crowley. Now, what's famous is Aleister Crowley in the 60s version. He wants to leave his soul and go into the body of the Mick Jagger analog in the story, right? And he ends up not going into the Mick Jagger body, but he ends up going into a alumnus, in the body of an alumnus of a magical school that's hidden up north. And after he goes into the body of this mysterious figure, he walks through a wall at a train station where he reveals his first name is Tom, his middle name is a marvel, and his last name is a conundrum. And you realize when you go to 1910, basically Aleister Crowley becomes Voldemort, because Voldemort was inspired by Aleister Crowley. So he completely represents how this one character influenced all these characters from the Victorian era to the 60s to even the modern day, where essentially you have a big showdown at Hogwarts with Harry Potter characters representing modern fiction. And it's just completely brilliant. It's brilliant storytelling. Like, it is fan fiction, but I hate to call what Alan Moore is doing. He's like doing calculus with these characters to what we see with modern fan fiction. It's just brilliant deconstruction. It's not only a deconstruction of these characters, it's also a thesis for how he sees these characters in fiction evolving over time. And that's why I say it wrapped up recently, and it's one of my favorite pieces of media. It is very hard to get into, but if you have a chance to get into, read it. It's fantastic.
So I was just about to ask. So you would recommend to the audience that this is an okay thing to pick up, like that it's nice read.
Yeah, I would say at least start with the first two. Those are the easy ones to get into. But if you do want to, and also if you're a Harry Potter fan, you might be offended with how he portrays Harry Potter in the book. But it's a brilliant takedown of Harry Potter. He calls J.K. Rowling's world a sentimental, nostalgic holdover from the post-war period that breeds nothing but escapism with sloppily defined magic. It's so brilliant.
Wow.
When they go through Hogwarts, and it's funny because you have these Victorian characters go through Hogwarts, and they're like, "Oh God!"
But I guess before we give too much away from it, I guess you have given a very good advertisement for it, and anybody who is at this point, like, hey,
Max just doesn't want to hear someone give a takedown of his precious Harry Potter.
Oh no, I'm fine.
Actually, I was surprised. Harry Potter fans loved it. I was reading the Harry Potter subreddits when the book came out, and they were saying, no, this is a logical path for, if Harry Potter knew certain secrets that Dumbledore was hiding from him, this is a very logical path for Harry Potter to go down. So I actually like it.
I mean, in all fairness,
Max just wants the podcast to end before it's midnight.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind, I made that stupid video on Harry Potter, so it's not like I'm.
Well, you made it that stupid about Quidditch, so.
Yeah, it's one of the but in the beginning, I'm like, hey, all this stuff in Harry Potter is like a stretch to the suspension of disbelief, but Quidditch is the worst.
I mean,
I guess link down below.
My college had a Quidditch team for some reason. It was. I don't know if rude,
your video
but
didn't even touch upon actual Quidditch.
Oh God, no!
It
It's
very
too
cringy.
stupid.
Not to be rude, I'm sure they were having fun, but it was very cringy to watch.
I mean, it's like competitive frisbee throwing. You know they're having fun, but you can't look at that without a little bit of judgment. Let's be real here.
So, Key.
Yeah.
How much time have you planned for your media?
Oh, it's very quick. I knew that my week was going to be long, so I wanted to pick something relatively short.
Yeah, sorry, once you get me on Alan Moore, I just go all out.
We should have gone with BoJack after all.
Career, so no, BoJack would have been even longer. Let's be real here. But no, I want to talk about something that came out just this morning.
Ooh my, that's fresh.
Rubber Ninja's Social Monsters, which is his first cartoon posted on YouTube in 6 years.
Okay.
For people who don't know who Rubber Ninja is,
I don't.
He is one of the Grumps. He was a famous Newgrounds animator. He famously made a video talking about how animation was getting screwed over by the algorithm back in the day. And yeah, he's since been made his Gameoverse pilot that he's pitching to different networks. And he did the Scribble Showdown tour, which I talked about on the podcast earlier last year when I went with Lauren.
Oh yeah, I guess I have seen stuff from him.
He's a fantastic animator, one of my inspirations. I have his Bowsette poster on my wall, and I've been following him on Twitch. I think I've been subscribed to him on Twitch, like giving him money for like 18 months. So I love Ross's stuff, and this is his new work called Social Monsters, which is a bunch of different monster girls that represent different types of social
You can stop. You already got me sold. You said monster girls.
I mean, to say, like, hold on, I can actually point some of these cast members, because I also have a Monster Girls poster on my wall.
Ooh.
So you have, the main characters in this short are Slimantha, who is the one on screen right now, who's a slime monster girl. Then there's Vanity, who's a dragon, who's the one that's with her. Then there is a werewolf girl, who I will make a cosplay of, that has a part-time furry hat named Luna. Maro, a skeleton who's the daughter of the Grim Reaper. Haru-chan, who's a tentacle monster, who also appears in this short later on. And Maisie, who's I think like a centaur, who's a fitness channel. And then there's other characters like Faith, who's actually voiced by the voice of Marinette from Miraculous Ladybug, who's a ghost that does movie reviews, who lives in their living room TV.
Oh yeah, there.
Yep. But
what is this, Monster High?
Monster Mizume? No, but he actually streamed the work of this animation from storyboarding to finishing the last touches all on Twitch, so I got to see the whole process. So I'm very invested. And this first cartoon is actually about, going out and making stuff, because his inspiration was, a lot of people would ask him at Scribble Showdown stuff, when do I know I'll be good enough to post something? And he was talking about how you shouldn't have that mentality, that you should just make the things you want and not to grade yourself, because if you make it, you'll learn and you'll actually do stuff, and to be realistic and all, and really good advice coming from this little slime girl. And I'm also proud that he made it in 2 months using like different limited animation and different animation styles, and the characters are so likable. I love their voices. I love their designs. They're so cute. I mean, you're not going to see me say no to some nice monster ladies. I like things with horns and not looking completely human, but just human enough to like. But the other thing was, which was really cool, he actually put my name in the special thanks for the animation. Because in that little Faith scene with the Adam Sandler poster, I did that. Which was basically, he was saying on Twitch how he has to do a lot of posters and prop things. And it's at the end, it's with the ghost girl.
With the go. Oh.
Yeah, a little. No, it's a little bit more forward. You were.
Oh no.
No. There, it's a moment where she's like, "That sounds horrific. What is it? 51st date." There it is. It's on my Twitter too. But like, he was saying on his stream that he has to do all these things, and he has to make like this parody poster for 51st Dates, where it's like, I'll just trace the thing, and I was like, I have nothing to do right now. So I went in and spent 10 minutes just tracing the 51st Dates poster and just making the faces look goofy and stuff. And I just told him on Twitch, Ross, check Twitter. And he broke up laughing. And I didn't actually think he would put it in, but he did. And then he put me his little special thanks in the credits, and right below the Game Grumps' name. And I had a bit of an aneurysm of like, oh my God. But I really recommend people to support Social Monsters. Go to Ross's Patreon. He's always streaming on Twitch, working on stuff, and he released a merch store, and there's going to be incremental releases based on each monster. Like Slimantha is currently the monster that is being featured right now. I bought a Slimantha pin. I'm doing my part to support. And I really would love for this to get bigger and to have, I'm always supporting more animation on YouTube, especially this original idea and seeing, this guy's been on the internet forever, like during the early Newgrounds days, seeing his point of view of the different types of social influence and the good and the bad and the ugly, which is why they're monsters. And I'm interested in a lot of his ideas, and I really think everyone would like it. Plus, sexy monster girls.
Do I smell future awkward guest?
Ross, are you busy on a Sunday? We could talk about your cat. Orf is cute, but yeah. So I really recommend it. I don't know anyone who wouldn't really like it unless you're one of those really diehard cynics that just don't want to hear any positivity about content creation.
Do I consider myself a diehard cynic?
I mean,
it has monster girls.
Yeah, monster girls. But I recommend giving it a watch, and I think it also would be inspiring to people who want to do content creation. Let me just say this: if you like my "You Suck and Why That's Okay" panel, you'll like this video.
Well, in this case, link in the description down below.
All right,
and
your turn. See, I didn't take too long.
Exactly. So, I mean, guys, I had travels to my family, to the
You're
US.
You're only allowed one.
I know. I just wanted to say I was very tempted to go with an audiobook just to make Enigma scream by opening up the year with it. And I had some.
I was tempted to open with an audiobook too because Max got me Audible for Christmas.
You're welcome, Enigma.
Next week.
Oh, lovely. But yeah, so
I
have seen many movies up and down on airplanes and in cinema and whatnot, and I was really what do I talk about? And at the end of the day, the winner is an absolute beautiful. This is the wrong button. There's the right button. And the winner is an absolute beautiful show on Netflix. Kipo. It was I didn't really had heard anything about it. It was just Netflix was.
How deep are you going to go in? I haven't watched a lot of it.
No spoilers, just a general impression. And but yeah, you already see colors and pretty and designs, and if you like the art style. No, it was on Netflix. It was just very in the very proactively advertising it, and so yeah, it was a 20-minute cartoon show. Looks nice, and especially it's a DreamWorks one, as they all are nowadays on Netflix, the animated Netflix originals, and I have made very good experiences with them if they don't run too long. Voltron! Sorry, I had something in my throat.
Voltron, yeah. No.
It degraded so horribly over time. But yeah, with this one, it was also just advertised. Looks nice enough. DreamWorks shows good experiences. So we checked it out, and yeah, it was really intriguing story. It's to give the setup. It's post-apocalypse. For some reason, there are still a few humans around, but they live, for Fallout fans, they live in underground bunkers. And Kibo basically, so the little protagonist girl, basically gets through circumstances that get explored in the story, blasted with a wave of water to the surface. And now she tries to find her way back home to her dad, as one does in actually Fallout 3. Kinda. And she manages to run into a few other humans, and then the surface is just populated by Furries? Let's put it like it is. We have anthropomorphic creatures in clothes ruling the surface. They are furries and scalies because they're also frogs and weird bug creatures and a pig with 4 eyes. Oh yeah, they also have extra limbs. This is an important aesthetic thing.
So
The
actual, like radiation and
It
mutations.
is not explained what has happened. I finished season 1 and there are still plenty of questions open, which is like sequel or continuation. So I am having a good feeling that there will be more than one season. But yeah, it's an interesting character journey. You have a very small cast, which is always a good sign, but in a big, colorful world, it's fucking colorful. They don't take themselves too seriously by still telling a heartfelt, nice story, a journey. With to not give actual spoilers away, or just to describe a scene that happens, you have a liar reveal thing happening later on, and it's just like the resolution to it is just like forgiveness, like nah, they don't make this and they don't drag it on, they don't turn it into some kind of we need to overcome it now. No, they are just like good characters, and like not in written good but in good at heart. They're also written good, I would say. So yeah, if you like cartoons, check this shit out, it's good.
Wow, what a glowing, eloquent
I
review.
know, right?
You only had like a month to make it, so like.
Wait, I have a question. Is there any transformation in the show? Like any human to animal transformation?
Maybe. I mean, oh god, what is this thing? So you have this little bug guy who has different forms through which he keeps rotating, and they get more and more muscly guy. But he still stays pretty bug. Yeah.
It needs to check off that box, or Choco won't like it.
No, I just need to see.
You just watch, Choco. You just watch.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
watch and see.
Exactly.
But, no, and now it is time for the questions, the Q&A.
The Q&A.
What have you guys been holding in your hearts and souls for a month to tell us? To ask us?
I got 2 on Twitter.
I got some on Discord.
Yeah, and I've already saw the fuck, marry, kills we are starting this season off are like mwah, mwah. Have you peeked too? Have you peeked too?
Of course I've peeked. But no, let's start with a Twitter question.
Yeah. J-Rog is still, it's New Year and he is already back. For all 3, if you could erase one thing from existence, even the memory of that thing, what would it be? Oh my god, we are starting with a deep one actually.
Can I erase mosquitoes?
That's a good start.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Probably.
I mean, like, I have that as my answer whenever someone asks to eradicate something, because to me, you know, there's so many things in this world that even if I don't personally like it, or if it's caused pain, it has had a domino effect that could lead to some kind of change. Mosquitoes are just bad. So, like...
Yeah, I believe they don't even serve any decent biological function in nature.
They don't pollinate, or they don't do anything. All they do is sit in water, lay their eggs hatch in water, then they eat, then they drink people's blood, and then they die.
Yeah, they literally do nothing. It's not even like other insects who take care of clearing out the forest. No, they're just having their own little parasitic cycle going on there.
I mean, even flies, which are annoying,
Yes.
at least degrade, like, decompose and stuff
Exactly.
like that.
They have
Wasps
an actual...
at least pollinate, not as good as bees, but at least they pollinate. And I
They're
hate
trying.
wasps.
Also, wasps contribute to the general balance of the ecosystem, but mosquitoes are just doing their thing outside of everything and occasionally to transfer diseases. But we cannot all pick the same answer. So
But that's my
fair.
my answer. And
That's
then
your
I'll be
answer?
right back. You guys pick yours.
I don't want to go with the too serious, too deep answers. So I say something I really, really despise, where I honestly, honest to God, think the world would be better off without Teen Titans Go.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like,
You can tell I'm a fan of Beast Boy with all the comics I have in the back, but
But
I'm not really a fan of Teen Titans Go.
yeah, exactly. I love the original Teen Titans. They were one of the cartoons I really went up on. Or should I go with Titans on Netflix, because that show is also like No, but Teen Titans Go is like this it's not just that the show is like likewise what it also carried this entire impact where Cartoon Network was like, hey, let's an entire day just stream this one show on a loop. Like what they did for their own legacy, what they did for cartoon quality Teen Titan Go. Oh, you're silent. You're muted.
What
yourself.
did he pick?
Teen
You
Titans
picked
Go.
Teen Titans Go, and I agree. Like I said, I'm a Beast Boy fan. You can tell with all the
Yeah.
comics I have in the back, but I'm not really a fan of the I haven't really watched Teen Titans Go, so. Yeah.
And
I don't know if I agree with that choice. Like, I feel like, I mean, I know a lot of industry people that wouldn't be employed if you deleted Teen Titans Go.
maybe they got other jobs instead.
Maybe they're
Maybe
working on that Popeye movie or Lauren Fowles Medusa movie.
yeah, or maybe
That's
Cartoon
not even
Network.
the same that wouldn't be the same studio.
Or maybe
first of
Cartoon
all.
Maybe
Network.
they're working on the new Sonic movie. I
Or
don't
maybe
know.
Cartoon Network would have produced more shows instead of rerunning Teen Titans Go all
The thing
day
is,
long.
though, but they have been producing a lot of shows. If you actually look at the programming that Cartoon Network has that is currently running and going, it's the best Cartoon Network's been in a while. Teen Titans Go exists to help give this network the funds to do the other shows and to do the other ventures. It's not great, but it's a means to an end.
Well,
And-
there goes me taking the light answer. It goes. I can't do anything right.
I'm just saying.
Alan Moore will agree with you on the Teen Titans Go answer. He would see that as a derivative photocopy. So
You would not have. I'm just saying, Max. I'll let this live with your conscience. We wouldn't have Mau Mau if Teen Titans Go wasn't on.
Ooh, that's a low blow. That's a low blow. Choco, what's yours? What do you erase from existence and wipe from everybody's memory?
I guess similar to what you say, and I guess going with the theme of me believing Alan Moore's idea of the importance of art, I guess I will eliminate the anti-Alan Moore, which I believe is Seth MacFarlane. I believe Seth MacFarlane's impact on the adult, not just the adult animation industry, but just on animation in general. So many people trying to emulate his horrible, crude style. It's derivative. There's nothing unique about Family Guy and all the other shows that he's created. Maybe the Orville, but the Orville again is also living in nostalgia. So I would say Seth MacFarlane. I'm sorry. I would rather you just take a step back, maybe disappear, and maybe.
Goodbye, Adam West
Oh,
episodes
my.
of Johnny Bravo. I'm gonna be the killjoy for all of your answers.
Oh my! And
Okay,
I
maybe
did
Seth
not.
MacFarlane for the Johnny Bravo.
And
You know what?
I did not
Keep him for
already.
Johnny Bravo, and then he blips from existence
Well-
just afterwards.
Well, not to be weird, not to be morbid on this, but did you know he was actually supposed to fly on the plane that crashed into the World Trade Center, and he just by miraculously missed it? So I don't know, maybe God saw that he was needed. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
God
He had-
wanted Family Guy.
He had a hangover and he missed his flight, and then he was like, "Oh, it was the flight that I almost said landed. It did not land. Went into the South Twin Tower, and yeah, I don't know what it's like to be a man to have that on your mind that was supposed to happen to you. I don't know if that raises your self-esteem or that makes you fearful of life."
Did you see Deadmau5's interview on H3 podcast where he talked about he was just 30 seconds late for catching a flight, and they barred him from entering the plane, and the plane took off, and from the window of the airport they saw the plane go up and crash, and there was like a plumage of it, and there was an explosion in the fields in the distance, and he missed that flight by like 30 seconds.
Anyways,
talking about Survivor's Guild. Yes, next question, please.
Next question. This man has to fly over the ocean in a month. This is not good information for
I
us.
Oh, I'm
seriously thought
actually-
I was going to die after BronyCon, so...
I've had many times where I thought this is how I die flying over to Berlin, so okay. Question from Denim Ninja. What is your favorite piece of home decor that is not visible on camera and why? Well, I'm gonna go grab it.
Oh,
so
that
way
is
it'll be
not
on
visible.
camera.
Oh, that's good. I
Yeah,
read it
so
as
you-
that is visible, and I was like,
Well,
great. This
I
is.
will go grab mine.
I guess I have to. I guess with it not being visible, I have to grab it too. What is my favorite home decor? Well, welcome to the AWKWARDCast, where everybody runs off camera. Good job, Denim, for asking this question that get everybody to leave. Favorite piece of home decor? Oh boy. Oh, this is not easy. This is really not easy, guys. Oh my, I don't know.
Have you answered the question?
No, we are all searching for an answer.
Okay, I will go first then.
All right, I'll buy. Fine, Choco. What's yours?
It's a Choco Pony plushie made by a friend of mine as a gift, Master Tortilla. He made this little chocolate pony plushie. I don't know if you can see it.
Aww,
Oh, that's really
it
cute.
is a cute
Yeah.
one.
So it's very cute. I would bring him to cons more, but I don't want him to get damaged. But
That's a
yeah,
fair. That's a
yeah.
fair point. There's a reason I don't bring my key plush anymore, unless it's like a con I can drive to, because I'm always worried that someone's gonna tear it or someone's gonna steal it. I don't
Yeah.
know who would steal a pony of someone's OC, but
They would.
they would. I also love to bring it just if I'm rooming with people, because that pony's eyes glow in the dark. So like, if they wake up at night, they just see these two eyes staring at them from a random desk in the corner in the pitch black room. Like, hello, are you awake? But I guess I'll show mine. I wanted to save mine for last because it would have been funny. Unless you found it?
I still have
Can't
no idea.
can't you just describe it?
I don't know what it is. I'm still searching for my favorite piece of home decor. I don't know.
Just say something random then. If you keep it at this rate, the two hosts would have been off screen more on this podcast than on screen. So please come back.
Yeah, everyone's saying, is this a solo Choco cast?
What?
Someone in this room was like, oh, is this a solo
Is
Choco stream?
it Odie saying that? It's Odie, isn't it?
Probably.
Everyone. What? Oh, so equipped with everybody. It's true, isn't it? Oh no, it's Denim. But yeah, why did you not bring yours yet? I thought you were off
I
getting
was
it.
waiting mine. I was waiting mine for last because it was going to be funny and pathetic.
What is more pathetic than not having any favorite items? Or can it not be
Having
able to pick?
something that a 22-year-old shouldn't have.
Okay. You
Oh,
told
okay.
me to pick something. Oh, okay. Maybe.
Bad Dragon?
Yeah.
No, I do not have that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. Maybe I have one.
You have a Bad Dragon? All right.
No. I have a piece of home decor which was for a long time being hung in my hallway, so that everybody going to the bathroom could appreciate it.
Oh, okay, I know this one.
It's a piece what I got on my first furry convention, and
Uh-huh.
I it's just like I just like it. It's just one that makes you smile. Oh God, how can I? Wait, let's.
I can see it. It's a bunch
There
of.
we go.
There you go.
There you go. It's just like this bunch of
It is really cute.
and the individual expressions of everybody reacting to this. Checkered.
I've never asked. Is it a traditional or is it just a scan of a traditional?
That's a good. I mean, it's not traditional, so it is a print.
Oh, I thought
But-
it was traditional because it has a very watercolory look.
Yes, but I would say it's a scan of a traditional because it looks, as you said, very watercolory looking at it from close up.
Anyways, so yeah, mine. I have to get up and go over, so all your judgment will be very silent and/or your facial
It's a
expressions.
giant duck,
My favorite
isn't
piece
it?
of home decor was given to me by Lauren, and it's a giant horse.
Okay, it's not the giant duck. It's a giant horse.
And if you, I don't think I've ever shown just the scale of how fucking big this thing is. Like,
Well,
if I lift it up, so its feet are touching
in
the
Mother
ground,
Russia,
it goes up
horse
to
is
here.
on top of Keyframe.
This is my friend, and he sits in our living room, right on the book, right like below the bookshelf next to the giant duck.
I just wanted to say, what happened to the giant duck?
Jerry just has his friend. I
Okay.
named this one Bojack.
Now we... Was there never a Jerry in any, or a duck in all of BoJack?
No, I mean I'm sure there must have been something. But the thing is, this horse apparently was apparently in Lauren's garage for God knows how long, covered in dust. So I thought Bojack was a fitting name. Back
Aw.
in the 90s, I was owned by a Californian girl. But like, I have people come into this house, or my favorite one, which is I've had Postmates delivery people who have seen the giant duck and the horse from the door and like look over and just see these two giant plushies in this obvious adult's house. And I've had someone ask, "Oh, do you have kids?" No. And then I would slowly close the door. Not even say thank you, just no. Because I mean, what is being an adult and not having the things you couldn't have as a child?
Exactly, that's what
I
the
did
extra...
not have a giant horse as a child. Lauren was privileged, and this horse needs to go somewhere, or else I'm going to be very distracted. It
So,
somehow didn't break something. I am very happy because it was 2 inches away from my Chromebook.
oh boy.
But no, good question. Good. Well, they were answers. So next Twitter question.
Clearing out Twitter, thanks to Brandon Croker, who asks, time to answer the eternal question. Who, I ask you, who? Let the dogs out! Who? That's what I got on Twitter. I guess now we have to answer it.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
I mean, it's a legit question sometimes for my
I mean,
sister.
I guess Mr. and Mrs. Bahaman, like, because do you know what the actual meaning of that song is?
No.
It's actually dogs in the song are reference to hoes. So basically, it's saying who let all these hoes in here. Which is amazing, especially since that was like a song used for the soundtrack of like the fucking Rugrats movie. So you have a song
So it's
about
a sexist song?
yeah.
Oh god.
And like I just find that song amazing of how many times it's used in kid media and what the song's actual meaning is. But who let the dogs out? I mean, I wouldn't mind letting dogs out. As long as they go out to come to me.
You see, my problem is I cannot answer this question because it's a real question. Like, my mom occasionally asks when suddenly my sister's dog is just in the garden and she's like, who let the dog out? Like, seriously? I mean, usually
who let the chicken out is a better question.
Oh yeah,
than
this
some of
also
your sister's
this
pets.
also happens. Like my sister's house is right next to my mom's house, so there's a real life Animal Crossing happening. So, but yeah, my answer is that yeah, me and my family would really like to know who let the dogs out. What about you, Choco?
Well, if I guess I have to use my expensive education I got
Oh,
studying
yes.
genetics at Johns Hopkins University, it will be our ancestors from 24,000 years ago during the last glacial maximum who were the first ones to think wolves are cute, start feeding them, and then built a symbiotic relationship with them to the point that wolves and dogs diverged to become two separate species. So, thank you, ancestors, for the last glacial ice age from 24,000 years ago.
Well, we finally answered
Do
the
you have a
question.
shirt that just says "I'm from John Hoskins" like on it? Because you
Actually,
Oh,
I
no.
bought a shirt when I graduated that says it's Johns Hopkins, but but you know my co-host Simo, he like it's a meme between us. Every time I say something that sounds smart, he just instantly says,
yeah.
"Oh, because you're from Johns Hopkins," or "I'm from Johns Hopkins." So yes, that's.
It's like the "I have a PhD" shirt that the Grumps were selling because Ninja Brian is like a theoretical physicist.
Yeah, at least I don't walk around with a lab coat.
I'm gonna buy you a lab coat the next time I see you. I'm gonna go up to one of your panels and give you one.
Should everyone sign it and I walk around with a clipboard now and take surveys?
Yes. But next Discord question. Let's see. There was a good one that I saw. Where did it go?
Where did it go from here?
The thing is that fucking Wolf had changed his name again, so I'm confused now.
Oh, and there's the audio also.
God, I hate you people so much.
Our
Okay.
audience.
So February's here. Ask Awkward. Food is pretty cool. How much food do you think you can eat before you run into some sort of problem? And in parentheses, put vomit.
Are you just abusing this as a promotion for an upcoming story time on your channel?
Anyways, what's your story? So, Choco, what do you think is your food limit?
My food limit?
Yeah, like how much? Do you know like how much you can consume, or are you a little birdie eater? Yeah.
I'm both, and I think I found this out because of con vending. Because after vending at cons, we normally always go to like a Fogo de Chao where we have nothing but all you can eat steak. So
That sounds heavenly.
I think 2.5 plates of Brazilian steak.
Mhm.
If I go to like an all-you-can-eat buffet, it's probably about 2.5 plates of food.
Okay. What about you, String Bean?
I used to be better, but I actually have taken place in a study over Christmas, so I can exactly say 18 items of sushi. Not individual marquees, no, items from the menu. Because there is this fun little all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant that opened up in my old hometown, where you have like you order on a tablet, and you can and per order every person can send in 5 items, and then the tablet is locked for 15 minutes until you can order the next 5 items per person. And
I'm trying to visualize how much the 18 items are.
And I mean, one item is, for example, 3 maki or 1 nigiri or a little, an actually surprisingly huge bowl of roasted mushrooms, and then you also can order just a little plate of fries as one item.
Is this in
Why do
Germany?
you have?
No,
Yeah,
this is in Germany, in Aachen.
Sushi in Germany? Wow.
Oh yeah.
Sounds interesting.
No, and
I tried pumpkin sushi there. It was good.
but yeah, so the result of this was, after 2.5 hours in this establishment, me and my sisters only made it 3.5 rounds, which equals out to 18 items. 3.5 out of potential 11 rounds if we really would have been like every 15 minutes a new order.
But a weakling, that's what you are, boy. I am a small person. I am willing to admit that in the general body mass, I am small. I can hunker down a lot of food if given the opportunity. I know some people won't believe me because of experiences that they've had with me in not finishing food. But That doesn't mean I won't try. I'm only saying this because Max has had enough experiences with me not finishing my plate that I think that if I said that I could eat a lot, his bullshit meter goes off. But I can eat a lot of food. It's just certain food. I can't eat food, like a lot of food that has rice, because that just blows up in your stomach. But pizza, I have eaten whole pizzas by myself before. I've had debaucherous times consuming large pizza pies, just folding them in half and in quarters and just eating them like a calzone, which people still judge me for.
Yeah.
Emerald.
Not just
What?
Emerald.
Why are you judging me?
You're
Folded
doing it
pizza-
wrong. No, you're doing it
folded
wrong.
Pizza. No.
Your
folded
Italian
pizza.
ancestors, all of them, up to the Romans, keep rotating in their grave when you do that.
Max, do you know what a calzone is? It's called
A rolled up
folded-
pizza.
It's a folded pizza. I just made a calzone.
But you ordered a
I-
pizza, you creature.
I just made a calzone. But no, but you know, if it's Indian food, I'll be able to. I can eat it all.
Oh,
if I'm
I
not
love
eating
Indian
rice.
food.
I love Indian food, and stuff. But I mean, I do know my limit. I know exactly my limit. With two specific things: chocolate and soda.
Don't mention chocolate. I just went to that Epcot.
Oh, you
festival.
drank straight up melted
They
chocolate?
They had a chocolate flight. I thought it would be like chocolate milk or something. No, it's just pure melted chocolate. It's a flight of pure melted chocolate you drank, and I'm still feeling very, very sick from that. And like 2
amazing.
days before, I had a Oreo McFlurry, half a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts, and like 6 large cups of
I
Coca-Cola.
feel like
and
at
I
this
didn't
point
even
you
feel
need to
sick
start
from that.
blaming yourself. But like,
Chocolate flight. Who would make a chocolate flight? Okay, never mind.
okay, but no. I discovered my limit with chocolate at Disneyland. So Disneyland has an item that I will buy every time I go to a disturbing amount, which is this chocolate-covered honeycomb, like dark chocolate-covered honeycomb. And it's so good, and I can only find it at Disneyland in the main street, like candy store. And I will stop my entire group and be like, "No, we're going in there." And I'll buy like 2 family-sized bags and just eat it like a goddamn gremlin. And the last time I went to Disney and I had it, I bought 3 bags of it.
Wait, this is Disneyland
Yeah, Disneyland
in California.
in California.
Okay, we go to California
My
Adventure.
chocolate flight was in Disney World, so the moral of the story is
no, we
Disney
are not
parks and
going-
chocolate are not a good combination.
We are not going to California Adventure simply because you don't want me to get my one chocolate item that I like in this world. No, but I went to Disneyland once. I think it was like after Katie and Will's wedding or something, and I bought a lot of them. And I brought them home. I ate all 3 bags by myself in one night because, you know,
As one does.
hedonism. And I've never felt more sick in my life. Because what do you think's going to happen when you eat a bag meant for families of just dried honey and chocolate melted on it? And the thing was, there was like a 20-minute sugar rush where everything felt so fucking euphoric. And the crash afterwards felt like 20 hours. So, I know that's my limit. My limit with soda, don't chug.
Stay tuned. I guess stay tuned.
Stay tuned on
And
my channel.
subscribe
You're going
to-
to hear
yeah.
exactly why. Subscribe
I
to
have
Cosby
no
Keyframe.
soda limit. I found out
Oh, good for you.
because like the last
Can't
because
relate.
I'm right across the street from McDonald's. For the last week, I just sat there and worked and had this giant size drink, and I went through like at least 10 in each sitting, and I'm just like,
I
how did
don't
I have
know how
diabetes
your
now?
intestines are not killing you.
I
don't
know.
drink a lot of soda as is. I only really drink soda if I'm out on vacation or if I get a combo meal and it comes with it. I don't keep bottles or cans of soda in the house at all.
Well, I don't drink alcohol, so soda is like my thing, like especially Baja
Soda's
Blast.
so instead of beer, you got root beer. You're that person.
Baja Blast, yeah.
Baja. I have Baja Blast in my fridge right now. It's completely flat. It's from
So
Taco
you
Bell
lied
last
about
night.
not having soda in your house.
No,
Ah.
I said if it came with a combo. I had Taco Bell last night because I was really sad, and I got a Baja
Yeah, I
Blast.
would
you
be-
watched BoJack. Of course you were sad.
Yeah, I got a Baja Blast with it, and like a little bit is left in my fridge right now. Probably completely flat and watered down, but I'm not going to waste it.
But yeah, next question, I guess.
Next question. This is a welcome back, guys. Happy 2020. Let's see. But okay. We do sure live in a society asks, it's sports ball night.
What?
Who cares? Not me. What's your favorite outdoor activity? So I guess what you like to do outside. Go to theme parks. I do genuinely love doing that. It is one day I will go to every theme park around the world.
On my end, Odie is still. Wait, did Odie change his name in the meantime?
Well, for me, it's we sure do live in a society.
And for me, it's January is over.
Oh well, screw you.
Anyway, so favorite sports.
No, not sports, just an outdoor activity.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said go. Is going to theme parks a sports in your universe?
I guess it counts
Yes.
because they are traditionally most of them outside. I mean, you have a few ones that are indoors, but they are so limited that it's not cool. Tropical island aside, I guess, but it
Yeah.
doesn't count because it's indoors. Outside activity favorite. So you already answered with theme parks, right?
Yes.
Pooh. I wouldn't say that riding the bike is my favorite outdoor activities, but I really enjoy it, like with speed and workout and whatnot in one thing, and being a menace to the other people taking part in traffic.
Yeah. I mean, I said I like going to theme parks. You could say you like going on roller coasters. It's two separate things.
No, I you know what? I stick with like actually
You
outside
stick with bike.
activity, like biking or trekking or swimming, like.
Boring person.
Sorry, it's the kind of stuff that doesn't make fun, isn't enjoyable inside.
That's true. Well, no, a pool can be enjoyable inside.
Yeah, it's true, but ocean, for example, not. But yeah, Choco, your favorite.
I guess I would say like hiking or stargazing, but I realize I haven't really done that much. So I would say similar to your theme park thing, I like going to places where I could just check out little stores and just buy little snacks to eat and check out random little gift shops. I don't know why, I just love the tackiest gift shops that just sell the most generic like keychains, pennies in the bottle, that type of stuff, seashells. I just love going to these weird little gift shops.
Oh no, he's like your dad. Max's dad is apparently a huge like kitsch fan.
Yeah, but he doesn't buy it in gift shops. He actually orders it.
That's even worse.
Yeah. So,
There's more effort to be taken there. But I think that's most of the questions. I'm not answering this sunburn question, Odie, because we know what my answer is. There is no shade that I can go before sunburn. It is white and then red. I would be. The question was, what's the darkest shade you get when tanning before turning red? What is tanning? I'm answering your question with a. Well, I mean, Choco, you have actually like not
Pigments.
pure white blood in you, so
Yeah.
you actually have melanin in your skin. So how dark can you go before you just start burning?
I don't know. I'm actually pretty white by, I guess, Asian standards because I'm indoors most of the time. So I'm not sure how dark it could get before it sunburns. But I remember sunburning a lot in like military academy. Like it would be so hot and we couldn't move. So
I could actually make it if I took the time, like a long 2 or 3 vacation in Spain during the summer, with slowly easing in and not just burning myself on the first day and then being limited to the shadow for the next week. I could actually make it to a pretty decent cafe latte coloration, maybe, with also like blonde hair because my hair got bleached at the same time. But nowadays, I know.
Super dude. I've seen those pictures, and you look like such a Californian dude that you wouldn't realize that you're not from California.
Dude. But yeah, haven't. Usually nowadays it's like, oh, I come out so rarely. I just enjoy the sun. Ouch! I burned the first time because I overdo it every time now. So
Can't be any worse than June when we tried the sunscreen and all it left was like streak lines of where the sunscreen stayed on, and the rest was just burnt.
yeah.
That was so bad.
What's a cafe latte? A milk cafe? I don't know. What do you call
Like
it?
very light brown.
Yeah. Like
But,
more
like-
milk.
No, he's making a joke
Oh,
that when I
okay.
went to Seattle, Simo took me to a coffee shop in Seattle, and they were ordering all these drinks, and I just whispered to him, "What's a?" Well, I think I know. I whispered to him, "What's a mocha?" Because I don't know coffee terminology, and he says his Seattle heart broke. So
But no, my answer is I don't have a shade.
Instantly red.
I am Italian. My father is an olive-skinned man. Look at this dude. He is pure olive skin. Probably knowing how we're Sicilian, which means that there's probably like Moors, Arab blood somewhere in our stream. Then I got this. So I got fucking Irish, never seen the sun skin. I look like I was in a dark room for 20 years eating saltine crackers, and then I came out into the public. I have two shades, vanilla and vanilla bean, because I don't tan. I have legit tried to get some color on this skin, because I'm a lighter shade of white than the person who lives in the middle of Europe. And that's not a good feeling when you live in California.
Nope.
But no.
Well, thank goodness California has now snow. Anyways.
But I was just gonna say the difference is I don't tan, but I get freckles during the summer. I get so many. It doesn't look a lot like it now because it's been winter, so they actually fade. But I look like fucking little Debbie, just covered in freckles, which I think is when I look the nicest. But yeah. But since there's just no other good questions, it is time for the final part of our show, the question to end all questions.
So which one will it be? Or
We're going with wolf heads. If we're going to start 2020, we're going to start it right. Sorry, Enigma.
Did we answer anything from the Enigma today?
No.
Oh, it happens.
It happens. But no. So, from February's here, Ask Awkward, jobs suck. Is there a Netflix subscription that I can sign up to where people just give me money? Well, today's sponsor. No. Okay. Oh, wait. That was actually that was actually just another question. Never mind. Anyways. This is one. Okay, here it is. Ask Awkward. This one came to me when I was looking at the recycling bin. Fuck, marry, kill. A paper bag, a plastic bag, and a glass bottle. Seriously, though, recycling is important. Welcome to FMK, where we actually make our guests feel awkward. So, Choco, you have such lovely contestants here of a paper bag, a plastic bag, and a bottle.
Or should we give him an example by one of us going first?
He's thinking.
you also have to remember, I like inanimate transformation too. So
Exactly. So this is right up your alley.
So you're now considering paper bag Chan versus plastic bag Chan versus bottle Chan.
I'm curious with how a bottle would work. So maybe fuck the bottle.
Curiosity. Oh, okay, fair.
It depends on how wide the hole is.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, if it's like a Coke bottle, would it get stuck?
I mean, wouldn't it be more the other way around with the bottle?
What?
Okay.
I mean, depending on what you're into.
You didn't tell me this is the type of show I'm gonna be on.
Yeah, it's not in our how-to video. Someone decided to make this part of the show later on.
I would say marry the paper bag because papers are useful. You could draw on paper. You could do a lot of stuff with paper. Paper's good for recycling. And then kill the plastic bag because plastic bags are bad for the environment. So
okay, fair.
You made some very fair answers, and we apologize.
What are we, Drophy?
Yeah. I'm wondering which one of us is going to come up with the more awkward answers. So
you see what Simo's typing in the chat?
Peppa Bagu-chan, Paratsiku Bagu-chan, Simul Stapu-chan. Like, stop it, Cole.
That's my co-host, everybody.
Yeah, for...
See you on Zootopia Minute.
Zootopia Minute. No, I guess I'll give my answers. I know. So, I am going to marry the paper bag because that's the only biodegradable thing here. So I know that eventually it'll waste away if I get tired of it.
Wow, this is okay, huh?
I'm sorry.
I mean, you didn't.
The funniest answer.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have a gold digger option in there. So go for the one that dies first, so you can.
The gold digger answer would have been marrying the glass bottle, so I could send it to the recycling thing at the grocery store and get some money back.
Wow, you would literally murder your husband for a wanted charge.
It's the gray life. No.
Okay, you married the paper bag in the hope that he eventually rots away, and you can then go for the next richest person.
Paper is useful. I can draw my perfect man on it, so I'll just draw Shaggy on it.
So basically, like a very edgy and crispery. What's the pillows, the hug pillows?
The dockies?
Yeah.
Paper bag docky?
Basically a paper docky. That sounds
it's just
comfy.
It's like a paper bag puppet with the eyes on it. It's like, have you met my husband, Chris Pratt? Tell them about Guardians, honey. No, then I think I need to do something different than Choco. So I guess I'll fuck the plastic bag. I don't know how the fuck that's gonna work. I guess I could say we can go kinky, and I'll just wrap the plastic bag around something to make it work for some kind of purpose.
And you kill Bottle-chan?
You know what? No, here's the thing. Bottle-chan could be killed for a better purpose, in that I can use it and break it on a table so it has the shards, and I can use it to rob someone for more paper bags when my husband degrades away.
Well, okay.
I should have gone last. I had good
at least it is easy to go contrarian, since both of you married Paper Bag-chan. I will obviously just kill it for Keyframe's reason. It's the easiest degradable, so I kill it and it rots away, and this is a
no one will find the body.
That too, but also it goes better. It returns quicker into the circle of life. If I would kill plastic bag, it would just be there, and this corpse would lie there for decades to come, and just not rot, which is not good. So I kill Paper Bag-chan. Now I argued me already in a corner. I don't really want to go intimate with Bottle-chan because I haven't seen a bottle with a big enough opening, so it would be the other way around, and I really don't want this. So to avoid fucking Bottle-chan, I will marry it. And I guess I fuck a plastic bag. I mean, at the end of the day, if you think about it, fucking a plastic bag as a dude is probably the best answer, because you could get a paper cut if you fuck Paper Bag-chan. Well, if we discuss the problem with the bottle, plastic bag Chan.
I guess it's just like a giant condom at that point.
Yeah, see?
Doesn't condoms diminish pleasure?
Yeah, I mean, if I have the choice
Or
between
would
a
it-
condom, a paper bag, and a towel up my ass, I go with the condom. Hey, Choco, how do you feel about being a member of this show?
You say this was for all ages?
No. Well, if you don't
Oh, I
say
hope
it,
this doesn't come back up when I run for president in like 10 years.
I guess. But if you don't say it, I will say it. This was a great start into 2020 and it was pretty awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random crap. It's time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. It's the awkward. Artwork and analysis which you do not want to miss on awkward.